Hello, this is a pressure cell. As you can see, there is a moving piston on top. It has a diamond in the middle with a flat tip. Inside, there is a metal gasket. And below, another diamond. This is a new gasket, not indented nor perforated. This other gasket is indented, so it has the shape of the diamond. And the last one is perforated, so there is actually a hole in the middle, as we can see. We are going to start with a simple and plain metal gasket. In order to write down the parameters of the gasket, we are going to make a couple marks in the top and in the right. We put the light up here to shine from above. In order to do so, we have to pull this lever to allow the light to go through at the expense of blocking the right eye view. And now we are ready to close the cell until we see the interferences disappear. Here we can see the interferences. Kai is going to start closing the cell, and we should start seeing the interferences disappear. Yes, now they are getting smaller and even smaller until they completely disappear. So then, this will be the zero position. From this point on, we will start turning the wheel and applying some pressure, pushing the diamonds inside the gasket and therefore indenting them. If we want to get a thickness of 100 micrometers in a 250 micrometers gasket, we know from previous measurements that we need to give it one turn plus 1/2 plus 1/8 of a turn. And that's what we are going to do now. So it will be one turn plus 1/2 plus 1/8, which will be around here. I can start applying pressure by hand, but later I will need this tool. One turn and 1/2 already, and then 1/8. Okay, so here I stop. Now we can release the pressure. So now we are back at the zero position again, and to open the cell I need to release one turn more. So now the gasket is indented, as you can observe, and we can go and measure its thickness. always use the top handle to prevent damaging the tool. And the thickness is 100. After measuring it, we obtained 100, which is what we were looking for. Here we can see the 4 gaskets that we are preparing now. And now the last step is to perforate the gasket using the drilling machine. So this is the drilling machine. First, we put a new electrode, which is a thin filament of tungsten, from which the electric current flows and perforates the gasket. The gasket has to be placed in this holder. In order to do so, first we have to remove the top part. But, of course, before starting drilling, we need to calibrate the drilling machine by using this magnifying lens on top. Then, after putting the lid on, we will move it under the electrode, and after switching the drilling machine on, we will use this display to start the process. Also, we will need to fill this cavity with alcohol, so the electric current can flow through it. And that's all. Now we need to be very precise with this tool, because it is very important that the hole is in the center of the gasket. We are going to proceed to calibrate this machine. For doing so, we have here a dummy gasket which is already full of holes, and now we are going to make another one. Then we will proceed to put the center of the target in the magnifying lens just in the middle of the hole. If we look through the microscope, we can see the target, which is over an empty space of the gasket. So then we are going to make a hole there and then calibrate the drilling machine. When closing the top lid, it is very important to press with both fingers tightly at the same time, otherwise it may move. Now it's time to put the propanol. First, I open it, then I check that the tip of the electrode doesn't touch the top of the moving part, otherwise it will break and I would need to calibrate again. After moving it, I secure it by closing the screw. Remember to always push the moving part to the limit. By using this display, we can select the correct parameters for the drilling. We can change the parameters with these buttons and select with the one in the middle. In order to just leave a mark in the dummy gasket, I will select a depth of 200. Afterwards, I move up to select the mode and I choose Auto. After pushing the middle button, it will start the drilling. We proceed to absorb the remaining alcohol. Now we have made a reference hole, but as you can see, the target is not in the middle of the hole. So we have to move the target by using these screws. Once the target is just over the hole, then it is calibrated. This step is probably the most important, so we can take our time. And now you can see that it is perfectly calibrated, as the center of the target covers completely the hole. Once it is calibrated, is the time to put the gasket that we want to perforate. The gasket has two sides. This is the side that we use to make the indentation and the mark, so we will use the other side, which has more like a mountain shape.
So we have to manually put the gasket that we want to make the hole near the center of the target. It's important to do so because the electrode fits really tight with this, so if we move it too much, it won't get down and it will give you a problem. If you look at it now, yeah, I manually put it very close to the center. When we are doing the fine refinement of putting it just in the middle,
these particular screws present some tolerance, so it's better to not move with them just small distances. Instead, make larger movements.
Okay, so I finished with moving it. You can see it as good as I can inside the target. Okay, so it finished.
And now it's time to check that the hole is good.
And we go here to check how is the hole, if it is in the middle, and we are lucky. Pretty much in the middle, and it has a correct size. Yeah, you can see the hole pretty much in the middle. Both sides, the result is very good. So now we are going to add the pressure transmitted medium, which in this case is propanol anhydrous. So that's why we put some molecular sugar on it. So it's only alcohol, and we only need 1 drop. So I'm going to try to put the drop, but I'm not going to put it just on top of it, but try to put it a little bit to one side, so the liquid can enter indirectly inside. You can see the drop. So now if I touch the gasket, there we go. Now we have to be quickly to close it.
And luckily, we would have cut a bubble.
Yes. We cut the bubble, so we close until we don't see the bubble anymore. Here, if you saw it, you will see the bubble in the middle, and I'm going to close until the bubble disappears. It's getting smaller, and pop, disappear. And now it's closed.